Gaming is obviously something that a lot of people love. And whether you watch my videos or you just happen to get this video recommended to you, odds are you like gaming as well. And there's a lot of different ways you can go about playing your favorite games, whether that be on consoles, phones, or PCs. There's so many different ways in which you can play your favorite game that I kind of wanted to break down the different aspects of what you could play on and explain why consoles are still such a huge value to have in the modern day of gaming. So when it comes down to your different methods of gaming, what does each item typically cost? Well, most phones nowadays go for about $1,000 a piece, but that's not just a gaming device. I mean, you can play games on it, but most of them aren't going to be as good of quality as you would get on a console or a PC. But there is an option for playing games on the phone. You're going to spend about $1,000, but most of the time you have a phone and you just play games as a side thing. Your main thing for the phone isn't playing games. You have consoles, which, depending on which console you go with, will cost you a different amount of money. But let's go with what has typically been the standard, or at least for this most current generation of consoles, being the Xbox Series X and the PS5. The base models are going to cost you about $500. Keep in mind this is all in USD, so if you're from a different country with a different currency, it's going to cost you a little bit of a different amount. But in terms of USD, $500 for a base console. You can spend a little bit more for the better versions or a little bit less and take some concessions there. And then you have PCs, which vary widely in terms of how much they are going to run you. When it comes to PCs, you typically don't see many people build a gaming PC for less than $500, so you're already spending at least console money. But most people in the PC sphere that play predominantly on PC are going to tell you to spend a pretty good chunk of money to get a PC that is worth it. This can range into the thousands of dollars just for a single device that you're going to play games on. Now, of course, a PC is multifaceted. You can do a lot more than just play games on it. You can browse the web and download things and edit videos, as I'm doing on my PC right now. So there's a lot more utility with a PC, but it does typically come at a higher cost. Typically, if you're going to get a gaming PC, you're going to want to spend those few extra dollars to make it significantly better than what you could get with a console. But if you're going to get a gaming PC that is about the same price as a console, it's most likely not going to run as well as a console. And that is kind of the issue with gaming PCs, is if you really want something that's going to make it worth it, you're going to have to spend a decent amount of money. Now, the PC elitists are going to come after me and say, well, this is obviously the best way to play games is on a PC. Whether you play on keyboard and mouse or a controller, a PC gives you the best option for playing games. You have the most customization, and you can do so much more with it. And I do agree with you. A PC is, in theory, the best place to play games. There is so much more you can do with it. However, the cost to value doesn't necessarily equate that for the general public. Those of you that play predominantly on a gaming PC obviously understand that a gaming PC, when built the right way, is better than a console, but a lot of people that just want to play games casually aren't going to spend a few $1,000s just to get a PC that's way better than a console. A console has a giant value in it, and that kind of comes down to that price point. $500, you are able to get a console that can run pretty much every single game. It looks pretty darn good, and it can run them, depending on your monitor, at 120 FPS. You can do 4K and a bunch of different things. Obviously not as much as a PC, but consoles are very good at what they do. And that $500 price point typically comes at a loss for the company. It's no secret that typically when companies are pushing out a console, they are not selling it for face value. If you wanted to get a PC that runs at the exact same specs as a console does, it's probably not going to cost you $500. Companies know this, so they kind of put the prices down a little bit lower just to entice you to buy the console itself. And the really good thing about the consoles is that they last for so long. That's really the giant value proposition that comes with consoles. When you purchase your $500 console, it is going to be good for 5 to 10 years, sometimes even longer. I mean, a lot of people are still playing on the PS4 and Xbox One consoles, given those consoles are not able to run modern games as well as the modern consoles, but they still do work. I mean, a gaming PC will also still work years after the fact, but again, you're going to have to make some concessions. If I purchased a gaming PC for about $1,000, is there a guarantee that every single component in that PC is going to be able to run games at the same exact specifications as I have been playing them in 5 to 10 years? Odds are no. I'm going to have to make some concessions with my PC. I'm going to have to lower my frame rate, or I'm going to have to lower the texture quality settings. There's some different options I have with my PC to make it last longer. With a console, you don't have to worry about that. The general public, when it comes to gaming, again, talking about console players here, doesn't know that much about the intricacies of how to make their devices work in the best possible way. There is no option to really do that. Games nowadays on consoles will have a performance mode or a quality mode, but you're unable to adjust all those settings on a console like you are with a PC. Another big value that consoles have is that they are pretty easily transportable. If I want to take my Xbox somewhere, whether it be on vacation or just to somebody's house, I have to bring the console itself, the power cord, a controller, and maybe an HDMI cord. That is 3 or 4 things, excluding any external drives that I have connected to it. If I want to bring my PC, I have to bring this cumbersome PC case and be very careful with it because it can be quite fragile. I have to bring the power cord, my keyboard, and my mouse. So again, that's only about 4 things, but when I plug in my PC, I'm pretty much locked into playing it wherever I decided to plug it in. Because if you're playing on keyboard and mouse, you need to have some sort of desk or flat surface to play it on. What are the odds you're going to plug in a PC to a home TV and play your keyboard and mouse on a table in the middle of the room? It just typically doesn't work that way when it comes to PCs. Consoles are just a huge value to have. Now, there is one aspect of consoles that is actually significantly worse as opposed to the PC counterpart, and that is the fact that typically you have to pay for online access to play your games. Now, a lot of free games nowadays, these companies don't make you purchase an online subscription to access a free game, but if you purchased Call of Duty or Madden NFL and you want to play online with people, you have to purchase an online subscription. And throughout the year, this can cost you anywhere between $120 up to the highest tiers, which can cost you almost $200. And that is a lot more money that you're going to have to pay each year to play the games that you want to, as opposed to PC, where if you purchase a game on Steam, you don't need to pay for online access. So there is more cost throughout the year when it comes to playing on a console, but depending on what option you go with, you could look at it as saving money. I myself am a member of Game Pass Ultimate, so I get Game Pass on both my console and PC. So I look at it as back in the day, I could spend $60 for online on Xbox Live, and as long as I play a couple AAA games priced at $60 to $70, I'm pretty much getting at least my value's worth, as opposed to if I paid for all these games individually. Now, paying for a subscription service for your console does suck, but that just comes with the territory. I really don't foresee them really going anywhere with that. PC obviously has the edge in that area where you don't have to purchase an online subscription every year. But all in all, while I completely acknowledge that a gaming PC is realistically the superior way to play games if you are playing them consistently, the casual person is going to get a lot more value out of a console purchase, whereas you only have to spend $500 once and you are good for a number of years, plus the added subscription that you have to do to access online modes, but that is beside the point. The value of a console is actually insane. Like I said earlier in the video, it's pretty hard to build a gaming PC that's going to cost you the same price as a console and have it run just as well. And the added mobility of the console is obviously a huge plus. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Which gaming device do you prefer to play on? Console, PC, anything in between? Let's continue this conversation. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheerio, mates!